To Mr. Bateman, what does St. Clair County do that the individual cities in the county are unable to do?
I hope it's okay if I stand up to answer these so I can talk to everyone from this position here. The cities, of course, were formed by the citizens. Citizens get together and they say, I think I'll create a city, and they both create a city. Counties are created by the state. So we have actual differences in the code that set us apart. Most of the grants that come through a county, though, even the ones that increase the water systems in a city, or the sewer systems in a city, or many of the highway projects, come through the county. Most of those grants are either state grants or federal grants, so they come down through the state level from the feds, and then they factor from there over to the counties. So counties are different in that we're usually the vehicle that delivers the services to the cities when it comes to grants and major projects.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Manning.
Thank you very much. In my opening statements, I would like to recognize a couple of folks that are here with me, especially my wife and a sister, Annette Manning, and I appreciate them being here with me today. And to answer the question, I started in 1977, and I long worked for grants. I'm going to mention the bridge situation. When I came in office in 1978, we had many wooden bridges, one-lane traffic. We worked toward grants and federal and state monies to secure the type region that you travel today. We don't have anything. When I came there, we worked for grant monies and had some funding back then that we no longer have. But we worked to secure as much of that as we could to where we would not have any dirt roads left. And of course, every time we met, we would have a room full looking for some type of paved road for their situation. Of course, we used your money and the federal money, state money, any money we could get to help secure that. We put that to rest. All of them's not good, but all of them have some kind of dust control better than they have been in the previous. And we're using the most prosperous way we can to come forward with the biggest payment, and it's through federal, state monies and counties. We're making the greatest project. Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's hard sometimes. Okay, and this question, we're going to start with you, Mr. Freeman. What is your #1 campaign project to target and complete during your term?
Well, you know, you've got to be for economic development, you've got to be for residents, you've got to take care of your existing people, your existing business. You've got to provide adequate services, the best of services. I think that I look daily. I've enjoyed my years as serving as a member of the county commission. I look forward to working closer to all communities, and taking care of the voters and the taxpayers just like you are here today.
Thank you. Mr. Wagner?
Well, at the beginning of each 4 years, I've tried to set goals. For instance, set a goal 4 years ago to make sure that we had Coosa Valley Water Project up and running, that we had the hospital built, which is a requirement of counties to provide energy care. So I set goals each time. This next 4 years, my goals are to make improvements on Highway 411, so I'm now appointed to the Board of Directors of the Regional Planning Commission that moves me in a position to do that. That would include lighting the interchange over here and making improvements on 411 through town. Another project, though, that we really need to get on board is to create some commerce parks in this county. We need at least one commerce park on I-20 and one commerce park on Interstate 59 that we can develop into more industry. And those are very important in today's development world. And the next project, of course, is to make sure that Coosa Valley Water starts selling water so that it's not such a drain on our system. So those are my 3 goals for the next 4 years.
Thank you. Mr. Manning?
Definitely, Coosa Valley is a project that 4 entities came together, that being Pell City, Odinville Utilities, and Springville. And at the time, Lincoln was on board looking to supply Honda. Honda dropped out in months after it was formed. We was all in the bid process in the building Coosa Valley. We were just knocking on the door of that. And the county commission told me, hey, we're going to pick up our portion we're gonna pick up Lincoln portion. We're gonna make this work. I was told that and felt like that it was in place. It's moving. We do everything we can to try to promote it. And I want to see it continue. But it all comes to home. It all comes back to you as an individual taxpayer in St. Clair County residents.
Okay, Mr. Manning? Are you willing to work with mayors on county roads inside their city needing improvement?
I can't answer that. I've answered that since 1977. My record is good.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bateman?
Of course, I'm in the end of my 4th term as your chairman, and my pledge to the mayors, and some of the mayors are still here and some are not. I've worked with a lot of mayors. I've worked with 18 different county commissioners. And my pledge when I became chairman was to make sure that we shared the money that the county has with the cities for projects that are important to them. That may be road development, it may be matching grants for their water line projects or their sewer projects. So there again, I think the county commission's record, including Commissioner Manning's record, is very good, that we would share our resources with the cities. That's not done around this state and a lot of other counties, by the way. It's pretty unique to St. Clair County, and we will continue to share the money. By the way, that money is developed mostly in the municipalities, so it's yours. All we're doing is giving it back to you. So that would still be in place in the next 4 years with me.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bateman? You both have been on the commission for a long period of time. What changes do you plan to make?
The biggest change that I would be making, that I haven't been involved in the last 16 years as chairman, is to actively try to engage some younger people that would be interested in getting into politics. Both Commissioner Manning and I both talked about this. We need some people that were our age when we were first elected interested in getting these jobs. And somehow or another, we've got this country into a situation where we make it look so bad for young people that they won't step up. But we need some younger, educated people to step up and take these jobs as leadership of your county so we can move forward in the 21st century. They know about technology. They know about things that we grew up in an age that we didn't have access to. So my goal would be to actively engage some youth back into the process in the county.
Thank you. Mr. Manning?
Thank you very much. You know, my wife has been an educator for some 40 years, I might say. She probably wouldn't appreciate me saying that. But I attend a lot of high schools. I attend a lot of elementaries. I attend all forms of school. I see a bright eye in just about every school I go in. I'm very, very pleased to feel that the future is bright. It's where I'm at. It's definitely in my mind. It's in a daily operation, and I think it's in all people and all government in our county, cities. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Manning, your question again. What is the plan for the Coosa Valley water? Will Moody ever be involved in it?
I'm glad you asked that question. I think anyone in the city government of Moody, anyone that serves on Coosa Valley Board, anyone that serves on this St. Clair County Commission is wholeheartedly want to see that come about. There've been some gatherings. There've been some phone discussion for the last year and a half to try to reach that. We have reached some points when I thought we was at a standstill and something else would become available. There's a gentleman in the room here that tells me this week that he met with some of them folks, and he tells me that they're not wanting to buy water right now. They want to sell water. But all it would take is about 6 weeks of drought, and we would all be thankful to have Coosa Valley.
Thank you. Mr. Bateman?
Okay, of course, the question was, what's the plan for Coosa Valley Water, and will Moody be a part of it? And right now, there doesn't seem to be a plan for Coosa Valley Water, because Coosa Valley is not operated by the county. Coosa Valley is operated by an independent board, and that board just has one member from the county on it. So what is the plan? If there is a plan, as chairman of the county commission, I'm not aware of it. But I will tell you this, I worked through the process trying to make sure that Moody was included at the table in the last move in the legislature to try to make sure that there was a board member from Moody to hopefully get the water that is delivered through Birmingham Water Works to Moody from Coosa Valley. That's one of my goals, because the main goal that I have, as far as Coosa Valley is concerned, is to sell that water. It costs the county $800,000 a year to invest in Coosa Valley water right now. We're getting zero money investment back from it as a county. So my plan is yes to include Moody and anybody else that's a potential customer of Coosa Valley water.
Thank you. And your question again. What do you offer that your opponent does not?
Well, I think I believe in two principles of leadership. The first principle of leadership would be do the right thing. The second principle is an old military principle. When in charge, take charge. Do the right thing means you got to be prepared. Doing the morally right thing is not hard to do. We're from the Bible Belt in the South, and we normally do the morally right thing. We got good people, good Christian people. Doing the right thing, though, educationally is different. And that means attending these conferences and going to the meetings. You know, the conference is not the destination. The conference is part of the journey. Go to the conference, learn the things at that conference, bring those things back during that journey, and put them into place in the process of running government. So I bring a lot of things back to the table that my opponent does not bring in the way of education, including completing all the course requirements and the extra requirements for the Association of Counties County Commissioner College program. I have degrees in biology, I have degrees in police administration, and some coursework on the master's level in marine science. So I think I bring education, I bring a level of technology that's not there with my opponent also. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you.
I feel that I can relate to the people. I feel like I can carry their message. I feel like I can work with the other elected officials to serve that need in our county for the growth in the future. And if I need to be in Montgomery, or if I need as chairman, or Washington, wherever I need to be, I will be there. It's real simple. There's no need of making out like that I want to be a good chairman if I'm not willing to carry that ball, and I'm willing to carry that ball. Look forward to the opportunity. Only you can make that possible, and I thank you.
Thank you. What is the main motivating factor why you seek this position?
I think it gets back to basically the answer I give for the last, that I can relate with the people, I can be there, I will listen. It's no big I or little I, I'm right there for you. I think my record is clear on that. I think I'm energized to see progress in every level of government in our counties, cities.
Thank you. Mr. Bateman?
And I guess I'd boil that question down to this. Why do you want to be chairman of the county commission? And you know, you don't have to be the chairman to be a leader, but you do have to be a leader to be the chairman. And you got to prove that you've been a leader during your actions, whether or not you was a chairman. That includes going back into your life, whether or not you've been actively involved in civic clubs, whether or not you've been actively involved in your other jobs as a leader, because this is a leadership position. Alabama is leading this nation right now in all kinds of economic development. St. Clair County is leading Alabama, and for the last 16 years, Stan Bateman has been leading St. Clair County as your chairman. So I think that the level of leadership that we have to present to be a chairman is so obvious, especially in a high-growth county like this. Leadership is not easy. Leadership is action. Leadership is not people bringing things to you. Leadership is not turning to other people in a room and saying, what do you believe? Not during the meeting. You ask those people, what do you believe, before you get to the meeting. When you get to the meeting, the buck stops here. You're the chairman. You're the leader. You're the one that makes these projects move forward, which I think my record shows that I've been able to do.
Okay, next question. Mr. Bateman, what can be verified that each of you have done for the citizens of St. Clair County?
I think it's obvious that that I was very active in the development of several projects in the county. One was in the development of the Economic Development Council. There was actually one person in the county that did some economic development around the county. He's actually from the Moody Leeds area, and that's Ed Ash. He was a real estate agent in Pell City. And he was our Economic Development Council for years. He went out and hustled property to sell. We needed a concerted effort to develop an Economic Development Council. So with Ed Ash and other members of the Pell City Industrial Development Board and some folks from other places in the county, including Moody, we traveled to 3 places in the state to find out how their Economic Development Councils work. So I think my fingerprint is on the development of our Economic Development Council and the projects that it has created. And by the way, those projects have created $9 million more for education alone than we had before we had an Economic Development Council. $9 million per year goes into the education budget that wasn't there before we had an Economic Development Council. So you cannot ever convince me that that's not the key that makes this county work. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Manning?
Thank you. Mr. Smith, Economic Development folks, would y'all stand? No? Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you for providing us an economic development team that will lead us in the right direction. You bring a lot to us, but we are definitely there to stand with you, to go with you anywhere throughout this country to better St. Clair County. I'm not the chairman. This guy has been the chairman. I want to be your chairman, and I want you to know that I'll be more than glad to serve you in that position. And if it's, as I said a little bit ago, the criteria, whatever it takes, I will be there to do that. I'm not a newcomer on the block. My record is accurate. I think I have a good record.
Thank you. All right, next question, Mr. Manning. At times, the commission seems self-serving. How will you rectify this as chairman?
Well, just make sure that everything is open to where everyone will have input. Anything that the commission does is open to the people. It's always been. We have, it's a 5-member board. I'm looking forward to the leadership of the 5-member board, but yet I'm not there yet. I'm asking to be there, as I have said. It's, these commissioners has a great deal of respect for anyone that serves and moves it forward. And I'm asking for that opportunity.
Thank you.
I think that's a good question that reflects some of the challenges that we all have in government. That question in itself shows that there's mistrust in different levels of government. This is a forum today between 2 candidates for chairman of the county commission, and the statement was the commission seems to be self-serving. I think that in itself is indicative of the way our country feels about our entire government not being trustworthy. And so the biggest thing the commission can do is have wide open government. You don't see me whisper across the room, Mr. Newspaper Reporter, please, this is off the record. Everything I say in a meeting is on the record. And you know, sometimes I'd like to get up there and say, I wish I hadn't said that. But that's what creates the mistrust that we have, is whispering behind the rooms and going into dark rooms and going into back rooms of your businesses and places like that to do business. That's what develops the mistrust. And so that answers probably where that question came from. The one thing that I'll continue to do is be wide open as a peanut hull. I know that's down south talk right there, but we're going to be open in this commission if I'm the chairman, and we're going to continue to be that way. And you know what? If I'm not the chairman, I will point out those people that are not open. I've always done that, and that makes me kind of looked at kind of tough sometimes in the room. When I was just a commissioner, I did that. I will tattle on people that go to the back room and do deals that should have been done in public. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our last question, Mr. Bateman. Tell us about your record.
St. Clair County has come from zero money when I went on the commission in 1986 to a fund balance today of cash fund balance of over $5 million. An investment portfolio investment, such as money we loaned to the city of Moody to purchase some commercial property, such as money we loaned to Red Diamond to move a pipeline so that they would move to this county. We have over $9 million in our investment portfolio with a $16 million budget. Now, most companies would love to have a 60% plus fund balance. So what do we have that we brought to the table? Since I've been on the commission, I have demanded that we watch our money and we put it where we're required to put it, that we don't waste it in places, doing odd jobs for friends, hiring friends and family. We don't do those kind of things. If we do, I get to point them out. And there's where a lot of money is wasted. Pointing out to people, go over here and do this job, go over here and do that job. That's not why we hire an engineer. We hire an engineer to tell the people to do that. That's not what a commissioner is supposed to do. County administrator is supposed to take care of the money. The county engineer is supposed to do the roads. So that's why we do that way is we run this like a business. We'll continue to run it like a business.
Okay, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Real good response, Chairman. I'm on the same boat. I've been there since 1978. I have not been there the whole time, but 99% of the time I've been there, I've seen the county when it couldn't make payroll. I know what it's like for folks to talk about layoffs got to happen. I've never wanted to vote for a layoff. I've never voted for a layoff. And as the chairman has clearly stated, I don't know where he's coming with a whispering and et cetera, but I've been part of this commission. He hadn't read it so far.
You have 30 more seconds.
Thank you. You said,
You have 30 more seconds.
thank you. But you people are on board. If any of this stuff was going on, you would have done seen it in the paper. We have paper coverage here today that would love to see something like that. I don't think they've ever printed that. He talks about whispering and back room. Every room I've been in to discuss business, he's been there.
Good deal. Thank you. We will now start our 2-minute closing statements, and we will start with you, Mr. Manning.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. You know, coming here for the last 3 or 4 days, I've been a little nervous about it. I felt like, well, how is it really to be in a political forum, on a platform in front of a group? I have been there before, but every time you do that, it's new to you as such. You just don't know. I have thoroughly enjoyed being here today and seeing each of you. And I guess as I travel through the counties the next few weeks, sincerely asking for your vote and support, I will be there. And if, I guess all I could say to you today is if you do not see me, does not mean I don't want your support and don't appreciate your support. I will be out there working with someone just like you to make a better St. Clair County. I especially thank my wife and Annette, sister, and many of you that have been around my life and seen me operate since 1977, my first introduction to politics. And if my record is not pleasing, I don't need the job. I think I've stood tall in my term. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bateman.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the Moody Chamber for putting this forum together. You've been bold enough to do that. For some reason, it's been a little bit sensitive around the county to put a forum together. And Commissioner Manning and I go a long way back, and both of us like forums where we can talk to the people. We love to get groups of people together. That's what the process is about. And believe it or not, we're part of the process, and we're also part of the same team. So I want to thank the Moody Chamber for being bold enough to step forward with this process. I also want to thank some people that are in the room, not necessarily by name, but one of them, Ed Gardner, is here. And Ed Gardner was the first executive director of the St. Clair County Economic Development Council. And Ed, we thank you for being here, and he's the one that got us on the right path to have a positive impact on this county. And he's not here, but his wife is. I'd like to thank Donnie Todd, who used to be our chairman. Donnie Todd, I think, turned the corner when Bruce Etheridge was killed. Bruce had us going in a very professional direction. Donnie Todd was an educated man. He came in and moved as a businessman, moved us more into a business format, and I've tried to follow the example of those two guys as your chairman. I want to thank the small business people in the room. I see Roland here started a business from really scratch and could have used some help from the county on some projects that he had when he first started up. I know that. We've got some larger business people. We've got bankers here. We have real estate people. All of you make that part of our community that makes our entire life better here. Our civil service that are here, our policemen that are here, and all this is all us in a team together. And if St. Clair County has anything going for it, except for my 2 minutes, you know, I talked that long already. If St. Clair County has anything going for it, it's the teamwork of all those people that I just mentioned. And you know, there's one thought that I wanted to leave in your mind, because this is what I leave in my mind. At the end of the day, when I step out of office as chairman and whatever else I go to, I think God has a plan for me. And my goal is that when everything's done, that God looks at me and says, well done, my good and faithful servant. And something that I go way back for with my daddy. My daddy was a Baptist preacher. And I just so hope for the day that he can tell me for sure, son, I look down at you and said, this is my son, whom I love, and whom I'm well pleased. And I thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Thank you both, Mr. Manning and Mr. Bateman. We appreciate you both coming out today. We know you've got a meeting to get to. We would like to encourage everyone here today, if, while they're leaving, or if you think of a question, I'm sure that, you know, you can contact them at any moment and ask them as you see them around and visiting around. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.